Hi and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about good debt versus bad debt and what constitutes good debt. Well, ultimately what makes up good debt is the fact that you're utilizing the capital in such a way that it's producing you a greater return than the cost. Now, let me give you an example of bad debt. Suppose you've got someone making $250,000 a year, that could be an employee or a business owner, and they decide to buy a luxury sports car, say for $400,000. Now, a significant amount of their income is going to go towards paying off this car. But here's the thing, right? This car is not producing any income for them. And worse yet, it's depreciating in value. So that's an example of bad debt. Another example of bad debt is people that use credit cards to buy luxury goods. And then they're having to pay interest on that credit card. Now, here's the weird part, right? You're buying goods that are luxury on a credit card, you're paying interest for it, and the goods you're buying aren't going up in value either. So the common theme about bad debt is essentially you're buying things that aren't going up in value, and worse yet, they're not making you a return on that money. Now, let's talk about some examples of good debt. Good debt is essentially where you're buying an asset and there's a return on that capital that is greater than the cost. That might be a commercial property, for example. Or another example might be someone that's got a home worth $2 million, they borrow $1 million against it from the bank, and then they're investing that $1 million into a venture that's going to produce them 10 or 20% return. That's an example of good debt because you're deploying that capital towards something that's either going to produce you a greater return than cost, or there's significant capital growth happening with it and it's greater than the cost of capital. Now, let's go back to that example of that person wanting to buy that luxury sports car for $300,000 or $400,000. You see, some people might just put a large portion of their income towards paying that off with finance. Now, the smart guys have already saved up to buy that luxury sports car for $400,000 or $300,000, whatever it is. But the really smart guys, what they do is they do this. They go, well, look, I could buy that car cash outright for $400,000, or I can take that $400,000, deploy it into a business venture or something where it's going to make me a return of 10 or 20%, and I'll then use finance to buy the luxury car. Now all of a sudden, that money is being deployed. Instead of being locked up in a car dead, it's now been deployed into a venture that's making a greater return than the cost of financing that car. So you have to look at debt as a tool. It's not a burden, it's a tool providing you use it in the right way. Now, if you'd like to get any more tips or advice, or you've got a problem or a financial problem that you want to solve for, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Till next time, guys, take care.